Hello boys. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to run 12 kilometers. I'll include some dieting tips, as well as some training tips and a little bit stuff here and there. Alright, so for dieting advice, you're going to be wanting to hit lots of carbs, so there are two types of carbs. There are complex and simple. Complex is like the ones that take longer to digest. These are like your breads, your rice, stuff like that, more heavier stuff. And simple carbs are the ones that take obviously quick. They're quick to digest. These are things like bananas, a lot of junk food, like cake and stuff. Simple carbs, which these are quite good for running though, because they provide energy, quick energy for a little bit of time, and that's usually enough time to kind of get you through the run. When you eat these, when you consume these carbs, you've got to time it very well, so that when you're running, you're not digesting like a heavy meal, obviously. So before you're about to run, I would suggest eating like a banana, or maybe I usually eat like a handful of nuts before I run, because nuts are I find that a little bit of nuts, it keeps me full, but not too full that my stomach is cramping when I'm trying to run. So before my run, that's what I do. And then every day when you're not running, I would make sure to get lots of carbs in. So lots of complex carbs like rice, potatoes and stuff like that. This helps sustain energy over a long period of time, so that say I'm going to go for a run in the morning. That morning, I would obviously have my simple carbs, but the night before, I would have maybe I don't know, chicken, rice, and broccoli, for example. And that rice is going to help me sustain energy, digesting it over a long period of time. Alright, so the next kind of grouping of tips that I have for you guys is training. So training is obviously a very important part of running. It helps you get better, increases performance, and increases your durability for the long distance runners like myself. So what you're gonna do is what I do to train for my runs is I pretty much only run 3 times a week, I'd say. On average, I'd only run 3 times a week. 2 of those are short runs. So I usually run a 5 and a 7K during the week. I'll tell you what I do in those in a minute. And then I run I have a long run on the weekend, usually a Saturday or Sunday. And that run, I usually need the most recovery because I am very sore after those runs. So those runs could be from about 10 to 12Ks. And I pretty much just build that up every week. So for my 5Ks, what I do is I tend to focus on pacing a little bit less, because I tend to just go as fast as I can, kind of to train my ATP PC systems to kind of to get stronger, which means I can kind of sprint or run very fast for longer, which is quite ideal for timing and stuff. For the 7K, I do tend to pace it. This is due because it's a bit longer than 5Ks. 5Ks I can do pretty easily. 7, I can obviously do 7Ks pretty easily, but like it tends to push it a little bit, because usually with my 5Ks I don't focus as much with like pacing. I don't worry about that. I just kind of get it done as fast as I can because it's not a lot of Ks to do. So the 7K run, I'll pace myself. So I'll go right. I'll look at my my app that I use, Nike Run Club. It's a very good app. I know there's apps like it out there called like Strava. I think Apple have their own fitness app. So I don't have a smartwatch. I just have like a digital one. So I use that app and it really helps. So I just hold it in my hands, look at it, and it tells me my pace. So basically, I'll look at my pace and I'll be like, I'll pretty much run at a comfortable pace that I could say I could hold for the entire run. And that's pretty much the pace that I will like run at. So 5Ks, what I do is I just full send it, go as fast as I can. Don't worry about pacing. For my 7K, which is also during the week, I start to pace it. I go maybe like a 5:30 pace and try to maintain that pace for the entire race. This is great because the last sort of a kilometer or two, I can just like my cardiorespiratory system is just like ready to go, so I can just full like send it at like the last kilometer or so at the end. So and then on the weekend is my long run. So my long run, I will run 10 to 12Ks, take me probably around an hour to do, depending, obviously. I think my 10K at the moment is a bit under an hour, like 58 minutes. And then my 12K is like an hour and 8 minutes, I think. But that's the first time I've ran 12K. I've only ran it once. But I aim to progress that in the future.